There's a question box that is attached to your control panel. You can type your questions in at any time, and I'll address those questions periodically throughout the training. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started with a few things. We talked about this again on Saturday, but I want to reiterate the fine points of the training simply because this is a very, very important topic, and it follows what we talked about a couple of weeks ago in terms of how to present, how to actually get the opportunity out there, share what's going on with the company. But a lot of times you're in a situation where it's time sensitive and you don't have a whole lot of time to go into a big presentation or a big spiel about what the company is doing. So there's something called a 1-minute presentation. Some people call it an elevator pitch. It's the same thing, but it's a short presentation that's designed to basically pitch your business in a succinct way, whether you're in the grocery store or the mall or an elevator. So, you know, here's the philosophy and thought process behind that. First of all, let me identify to you what an elevator pitch is. An elevator pitch is a short, simple description of one voice that anyone can understand by the time you ride up 3 floors in a typical elevator. Now think about that. You don't have a whole lot of time when you're talking about riding up 3 floors in an elevator, but the key point here in understanding what an elevator pitch is, a 1-minute presentation, whatever you want to call it, is just a short, simple description of what it is that we're doing. Now, a lot of times when people get involved in companies like this and they start to get this information, then they want to, you know, fire hose people with all that they've learned, but that doesn't really get people excited about what you're doing. The fact is, it can turn them off, okay? So you want to make sure you keep it very short and very succinct. So a couple of points you want to understand about the elevator pitch, and these are very important points. Sometimes it's good to know what it's not so you can identify what it is. And what it's not is not a sales pitch. One thing that we're doing as we're building our One Voice companies within the company is the fact that we're not really salesmen in the obvious sense of the word. What we're doing is offering things that people mostly use anyway. So it's not really sales, and I don't like to get into a whole sales pitch type thing, which means it's not going to be very long. It is not a pitch of a great idea of what your team is doing, or a pitch about a product. We're not in the business of pitching ideas and thoughts. We're actually in the business of empowering and educating people on benefits of making money and saving money, and that's what we're doing. Now, there's a fine line between that conversation and what sales is, but you understand it's really not a sales pitch, so to speak. But what you are doing is you're pitching what One Voice will do for customers and or representatives. In other words, what's the benefit if you're talking to someone about trying out products? What's the benefit of utilizing the One Voice products or services? Or if you're talking to someone about the business and getting involved with the company, what's the benefits of being a representative? That's actually what we're, pitching, if you will, to use that word. You also want to know to pitch how One Voice solves situations or real problems or challenges and addresses a burning need that exists today. For example, with the rollout of health insurance, and this is something that has been going on for a long time. Well, there's a need right now for everybody to actually get enrolled on health insurance. As a matter of fact, it's not just a need, it's required by law. Well, one of the things that when we're talking about, pitching or an elevator pitch is actually showing how One Voice can solve that problem. In this case, we can help you get enrolled on the health insurance product. So you're taking a real life situation, a real problem, and you're actually identifying a solution for that particular problem, okay? So those are a couple of, do's and don'ts as it relates to an elevator pitch. Now, let me caution you against a couple of things. These are some must-haves, but a couple of things you want to kind of wrap your mind around. First of all, you want to have an interesting opening. When you're talking to someone about the opportunity, you don't have very long at all. Now, remember, you're talking about going up 3 elevator flights, so you don't have a whole lot of time, right? So you have to have an interesting opening, and this is designed to actually grab the interest of the recipient right away. to grab their interest, to grab their attention right away. And I'm going to give you an example, before we close out, a couple of examples of how to make that happen. But it has to be very, very succinct, and it has to grab their attention right away. And also, you have to have some passion behind what you're saying. If you're not excited about your company, then nobody else will be. And this is your company. You're building a company within a company, and if you're not excited about it, no one else will be. One of the good things about building a home-based business and building a team like you're doing within One Voice is the fact that you don't have people hovering over you and telling you got to do this and making you do this and making you say that. You don't have that. You own your own business, so you have to treat it as such. No different than if you had some type of storefront where you're, a shoe store, a grocery store, whatever the case may be. Well, it's the exact same thing. So you want to make sure you have passion behind your business. You have that interesting opening. You have that passion behind what it is that you're saying. And then again, as I said, you want to keep it short. You only have about a minute to deliver that pitch, if that long. Okay? You only have about a minute. I want to caution you. Do not take too long to get to the pain/problem that you're solving. In other words, you'll lose their attention if you start to drag it out. You want to get right to it. And again, I'll give you a couple of examples, but, as a matter of fact, let me just kind of take a pause and give you a quick example right now. And you wouldn't just blurt this out as blatantly as I'm about to do, but just to give you an idea of what it is that I'm talking about. Let's just say you had some type of interesting opening where you may ask someone, if the money was right and it would fit into your time schedule, would you be open to a business opportunity? Now think about that. First of all, you've dismissed any kind of opposition because you've already said if the money was right, because a lot of times people, think about what it's going to cost. The second thing you said, and it fits into your time schedule, because that other thing is people always say, well, I have so much on my plate. I've never understood how people can be so busy and not, thriving financially. So you need to rearrange that plate or get a bigger plate, right? So the point is that is an attention-grabbing opening. If the money was right and it would fit into your time schedule, would you be open to a business opportunity? That's an example of what it is that we're talking about, okay? So there are a few elements of the pitch that I want you to understand just from a leadership standpoint, because as you're starting to build your team, you want to make sure that not only do you consume this information, but you're also teaching and disseminating this information throughout your organization, throughout your team. And the bottom line is, these are some fundamentals that have to become a part of, who you are as a master leader or presenter or trainer or just someone that's looking to make an extra couple $100. It has to become a part of you, okay? Now, here are just a few points, again, that are included in an effective elevator pitch. First of all, the hook. This is what we just talked about. That's called the hook. That's an opening that grabs a listener's attention. Now, keep in mind also that these things that we teach you within One Voice, this is not just, about One Voice. This is business 101. A lot of times I get invited around the country, around the world to teach and train corporate America or corporate world on different things. And quite frankly, my training is very similar to this. It's the same thing. We're just utilizing our products and services, but at the end of the day, you always want to utilize these same types of elements in terms of building whatever business that you have. The second thing is a brief description of your product or service. Again, you don't want to get into a long, drawn-out scenario as to what your product is all about. I'm going to elaborate on all of these 6 points in a second. The third point is a brief target market description. Who are you going for? Who are you going after? Who are you going to talk to? That's going to be important. The fourth element is actually a brief description of how One Voice is different from the competition. I remember a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago, the same team, the guys that we're talking to now in Indiana, asked me about what's the difference between One Voice insurance, health insurance, and the Obamacare health insurance. there's no difference other than the fact that because we have agents that are focused on your needs, most of the time we can give you a better rate because our agents know what they're looking for. They know the questions to ask. They know how to follow up to make sure that they're giving you a better rate. At the end of the day, we're still putting the same information into the Obamacare marketplace. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. You typically you'll save more money, and that's just one quick example of all the products that we have, but that's just one brief example. Number 5, it talks about a brief description of how you will make money. And again, that's going to be important to a lot of people because you want to just kind of jot this down real quick, and we'll elaborate on it in a leadership training. But there are 4 points you want to understand when you're talking to people. People are categorized into 4 different categories. People who like to make money. We call those people sharks, people who like to make money. There's another group of people who are categorized by like loving to help people. Okay, we categorize those individuals as whales. They love helping people. There's a third category of individuals that we call urchins, and urchins are people who just want to know the facts. Okay, they just want to know the facts. And then that fourth category of people are what we call dolphins. They love to have fun. Okay? Now, as you continue to grow and learn and go through leadership trainings and continue to build your repertoire of training, you'll understand how to utilize, professional tactics in order to identify what a person's dominant personality is. For example, if I asked you, just anybody, if money wasn't an issue in your life, you had all the money you could ever spend, what would you do with your life? What would you do then? A lot of people may say, well, I travel or, see the world or things of that nature. Well, I would immediately know that person is a dolphin. They love to have fun. Or the person may say, well, if money not an issue, I'll build a homeless shelter or build a battered women's facility or, just something that will help and empower the community, build a church. See, I would know at that particular time that person's dominant personality is that of a whale, which means they like to help people. These little techniques are important. You don't have to understand them all right now, but my point is this. When you're talking about number 5, a brief description in terms of how we make money, you want to make sure that you know your audience. That goes back to something I said earlier about the target market. So who are you talking to? The people who want to make money? Are you in a situation? Are you at a church where there's like people who like to help people? We'll talk about that in a subsequent leadership training. And then also have a memorable close, because from the time you get to the first floor to the third floor, you want to be able to close that individual and have that conversation embedded in their mindset so that when you follow up with them, they'll be ready to take that next step. All right? So let's just look at a couple of things real quick. And I said I was going to elaborate. So let's just take a quick look at the hook. Again, the hook is the opening pitch. It's that thing that's going to grab the attention of the listener right away. It also sets the tone. It sets the stage for what it is that you're about to talk about. Now, there are a lot of ways, and I just talked about that. There are a lot of ways that you can actually grab someone's attention up front, okay? But let me give you an example. This example talks about how you can actually identify and solve that problem that we talked about. For example, we're enrolling people on Obamacare. Okay, now, you're not leading with that, but this is a part of the conversation. We're enrolling people on Obamacare. What is that doing? That's telling people that you're solving an issue or a problem that's out there, something that needs to be done. Believe it or not, guys, people, there's something embedded in a person's subconscious mind where they look for resolution, and even if they don't know how to do it, you're pushing the hot buttons when you're resolving situations and challenges. And you want them to have in their mindset subconsciously, oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. Those are the type things that you want people to feel when you're talking about or pitching an opportunity to them. If possible, help your listener relate to the problem. A good way to help people relate, a good way to relate, is always to ask questions. Questions can always help you relate no matter what situation you're in. For example, do you know that the law now requires everyone to have health insurance? Well, now you're relating to everyone. Why? Because the law requires everyone to have health insurance. So that question opens up a door. Do you know that the law now requires everyone to have health insurance? You may get to a point, again, as you become more seasoned in building your business. You know, a lot of people, once you get into a more in-depth conversation, they'll talk about, well, is this network marketing or is this multi-level marketing? You know, I don't know about network marketing or multi-level marketing. One thing you can ask, a question you can ask people is, did you know that network marketing has created more millionaires than any other industry in the world? Period. The number 2 industry is not even close. And that's that's a fact. Network marketing has created more millionaires than any other industry in the world. I think the last time I checked, if you added the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th biggest industries on the planet together, they still have not created as many millionaires as network marketing. You know, talk to people like Warren Buffett, who endorses network marketing, or Robert Kiyosaki, these individuals who understand, people who understand high-level business. They understand the value of incorporating the efforts of other people, which is what network marketing is all about, incorporating the efforts of other people. The first recorded billionaire, a guy by the name of J. Paul Getty, he said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts as opposed to 100% of my own. And that statement has gone down as the basic principle of wealth, incorporating the efforts of other people. That's how you get wealthy. Then you're going to have that's an older school mindset, but it actually works. Now you're going to have a younger school mindset where you have people today, they're very much into social media, you know, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these types of things. These are viral networks, and they're very much into it. And you talk to them about a business like One Voice, and, you know, you may run across somebody say, I don't think network marketing works. Well, aren't you my Facebook friend? Yeah, I am. Well, network marketing works because Facebook is a network marketing company. They just don't pay you any money. Think about it. What is network marketing? You get involved in something, you invite a friend, they invite a friend, they invite a friend, they invite people, they invite relatives, they invite coworkers, they invite church members. That's what network marketing is, right? That's what Facebook is. It's just that Facebook is not paying you and One Voice is. So does it work? Absolutely, it works. But to spark someone's mindset in that pitch and hook them into your reality, you ask questions. You ask a question. Okay? A very brief personal story can also be effective openers. When you're engaging with someone, and this is called the introduction, but when you're engaging with someone, a brief personal story, whether it's yours or someone else's story, it doesn't matter. It can also be very effective in terms of an opening. Remember this, write this down. We said this Saturday, but write this down, okay? Facts tell, but stories sell, okay? Facts tell, but stories sell. The example I always use is a television commercial. When you see a television commercial, you see an AT&T commercial, for example, on TV, and at the end of that commercial, they have an 800 number on there, 1-800-dial AT&T or whatever it is. How many people do you know jump out of their chair, run to the phone, and dial that 800 number and switch to AT&T? No one. That commercial is not even designed to get you to jump up out of your chair and dial that 800 number and change to AT&T. What that commercial is designed to do is tell a story. It's designed to tell a story about, a grandmother calling a grandchild, or a grandchild calling a grandmother. You have the dogs and the puppies in the family. It's to tell a story, and it's to embed something in your mindset based on brand recognition. So when you decide you want to switch to AT&T, you have a good feeling about it. Why? Because you saw that grandmother in that child in that story. So facts tell, but stories sell. What's the moral behind this particular point? Don't go bombarding people with the industries of life, health, retirement, wellness, a whole bunch of facts, a whole bunch of statistics. Some of you are good at that. That's that what we talked about earlier with the urchins. And urchins are very good about wanting to know the facts, but also giving too many facts. It's okay to know the facts. It's okay to want to know the facts. But at the end of the day, that's not what's going to move people. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, when you're talking about the product or service, there are a couple of guidelines you want to keep in mind when you're actually doing the pitch. And that is what we've been saying over and over again. Keep it very simple. Keep it very simple. Use the KISS theory. Keep it simple somewhat. Right? Keep it very simple. I spent a lot of time over the last few months looking at how I can simplify the entire One Voice brand. And when we put together this LHR products and all the new products, one of the things that I immediately wanted to do is change the compensation plan to something that's very, very simple, so that everybody can understand it. There's absolutely no doubt about how it works. You get 20% on everything you do, 10% through 4 levels, and 15% on the 5th. That's it. That's it. Okay? So keep it simple. Limit technical terms and details. I'll talk to you about that in a second. That goes, again, to keeping it simple. Highlight customer benefits, not technical benefits. As I said Saturday, when someone walks into a room, flips on a light switch, all they want to know is the room lights up. They don't care how the kilowatts work and the switches and the wiring. They don't care about none of that stuff. They just want to be able to flip on the light switch and it works. It's the same thing with building your business. You just want to be able to flip on a light switch and the lights come on. You don't have to get into all the technical stuff and, all of these questions and this and that. And, a lot of times people that you're going to talk to, they'll try to get into One Voice's business. By that, I mean, what insurance company you're using, or what company you're using it is, or what kind of technology you have, and what they just asking questions because they want to say no. That's One Voice business. You want to build your business within that, and what's your business? Can you make money doing what we say? Can you help other people make money doing what we say? Do the products work? That's what you want to focus on. That's what you want to focus on. Okay? So keep it simple. That's the moral of that story. Now, when you make it when you give too many details, then it's going to be difficult for people to comprehend what it is that you're trying to get across. A confused mind will do nothing, right? A confused mind will do nothing. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is just a crazy example I put together, but you'll get the point. Here's something that's ineffective. One Voice Worldwide is the first company of its kind in the United States, in London, and in Africa. We started out in telecommunications, and now we market life insurance, health insurance, retirement insurance, healthcare savings, wellness products, and more. Because Obamacare requires everyone to have insurance, we decided to offer this product, and I have ... because it goes on and on and on. Who cares about all that? I'm confused even reading it, and I wrote it. Here's the same thing, but it's more effective. We provide needed services to customers and a business opportunity for everyone. That's it. That's the same thing I just said. But one is ineffective, one is effective. We provide needed services to customers and a business opportunity for everyone. That's all you need to do. If you look at that little graph I have there with the little circle and all that, blah 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 blah. You don't want to fire hose people with a whole bunch of information. You want to keep it simple. You have to understand, guys, that when you're talking to people, a lot of times, well, first of all, you definitely don't want to try to impress people with what you know, because that's not going to get them into the business, and that's not going to help them try your product. So you don't want to try to impress people with what you know. You want to be effective. The other side of that coin is a lot of times people want to impress you with what they know. And so they'll start asking you all of these questions, right, just because they want you to know what they know. I remember I used to get this all the time when I was in HCN. Some of you know I was at HCN. I used to get this all the time. People will come up to me and ask me all the time, what does ACN stand for? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. They send me my check, right? I ask them a question. What does AT&T stand for? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you want to know why what does ACN stand for? I knew what it stood for, American Communications Network, but I wasn't going to engage in that type of conversation because I already knew up front. They just tried to, either say no or impress me by something that they think they know. Another one, people always say, well, that sounds like a pyramid. Anybody that says it sounds like a pyramid, one of two things. Either they don't know what a pyramid is or they're not listening to what you're saying. Because a pyramid is when money exchanges hands, but no products, no goods, or no services. That's a pyramid. That's illegal. What makes a company like One Voice legal is the fact that we have products, goods, and services. As a matter of fact, most of you who are already in the business already know that when you come into One Voice, we can't pay you until you get qualified. Why? Because that would be illegal. You have to get your 50 PD. That's what makes this a legal company. Never mind the fact that we've been in business 10 years. Somebody would have figured it out by now if it's not legal, right? Never mind the fact that somebody asked me the other day about, is this a pyramid? We would really be bold. We would really be bold as a company if we were running a pyramid and partnering with the federal government with Obamacare. That would be bold. That would be bold. That's just like going to the police department with stolen goods in your hand. That would be bold. So a lot of times people just get into these conversations just to try to impress you, or they want to say no, and they're looking for a way to say no, and they don't know how to say no, so they keep asking all these questions. You maintain your effectiveness by continuing to be succinct in what you say and go back to a closing question. Does this make sense? That's why you all the time you'll hear me say, does this make sense? I'll say at the end of the day, I'll nod my head. I always have hooks in my presentations and training because I want to make sure a person's state is anchored in what it is that I'm saying. And then I'll go back to, does that make sense? Does it sound like something that may interest you? No matter what they say, I come back to my control because that's what effective business people do. Okay? In the business world, it's called CTAs, call to action. That just means, you look at a website, you look at television commercials, there are always CTAs all the way through it, but you don't know it, but they're moving you to action. That's what hooks do. That's what an effective presentation will do. It will continue. I'm not crazy when I keep saying, does that make sense? I'm not crazy when I keep saying at the end of the day. I'm not crazy when I'm shaking my head in the affirmative. I'm not crazy when I'm going back to the point, does it sound like something that may interest you? Is being a professional business owner. That's what businesses do, okay? So that's effective and ineffective in terms of giving too many details. Now, there's also something called the geek speech. And by the way, if you have any questions, again, please type those into the question box. We're going to be closing out in a second. So type any questions in the question box, and I'll address those questions. But what we call the geek speech is, again, it's just a lot of information, and people tune out what they don't understand. They don't even tell you they don't understand it. They just go into shutdown mode. People are not going to tell you their weakness. Well, I don't understand that. They're just like, oh, okay, really? Okay, well, it's not. I'm not interested right now. I'm not interested right now. Anytime people tell me they're not interested in what we're doing, they don't understand what we're doing. Here's why. And all of you that are in the business, we do three things. We focus on health, we focus on wealth, we focus on keeping God first. Those are three things we focus on. When someone tells me that they're not interested in it, are you saying you're not interested in health, or you're not interested in wealth, or you're not interested in God? It's not that they're not interested. They don't understand. And that's something that we have to do as professional businessmen and women. We have to make them understand and see what we see. Not through convincing, but through these techniques that I'm telling you about right now. Everybody wants to live a healthy lifestyle. Everyone wants to live a wealthy lifestyle, not just monetarily, but a quality of life. And hopefully everyone want to keep God first. So what is it that you don't see, or don't want to do? A conversation that sometimes it takes place between a husband and a wife, or two people who are engaged in a different viewpoint with this business. You would go home. You could go home to your spouse, your significant other. Hey, sweetheart, look, I ran into a business today. I'm all excited about it. It's something that I think will be great. I'm excited about it. But before I get started, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you have a way, an opportunity for us, and this is what you're saying to your spouse, do you have a way, an opportunity for us to make X number of dollars by the end of the year or next year? If you do, I'll do what it is that you're doing, right? But if not, what I'm going to do is I need you to support what it is that I'm about to do. What you've effectively done is you've given that person the respect that he or she deserves, giving them an opportunity to basically advance your future. But if they don't have a way for you to do that, then you want to come back and say, well, look, support me in what I'm about to do. When you get engage into those type of conversations, again, it goes back to not inundating people with a lot of information. In fact, well, when you ask somebody to come out to a presentation, how much is it going to cost? We haven't got to the cost. We just want you to see the presentation. It don't cost you nothing to see it. It don't cost you anything at all to see it. We just want you to come. So when you start getting into cost, that's technical stuff. When you just say come out and take a look at it, there's no cost. Keep it very simple. Geek speech. Here's something that's ineffective. And again, I just put this together. It don't make any sense, but you'll get the point. Ineffective conversation. We're in a non-penetrable market based on the Affordable Care Act and the healthcare.gov marketplace. We have put in place online equipment technologies for the marketplace where you all have to go to integrate with our 4851-bit encryption algorithm that is integrated with the newest 245-bit marketplace operator. That's ineffective. And some people say stuff like that, believe it or not. Here's the same thing. Here's the exact same thing. We have a simple online form that everyone can fill out, and our licensed agents will process your request. That's the exact same thing. You just eliminated the geek speech. All the technological stuff and the dials and the investors and all that kind of stuff. Keep it simple. That's what's going to be effective. Okay? Then you want to convey to people the benefits of what it is that we're doing. Not the technical benefits, but the benefits for them. A technical benefit is, you talk about, we have unmatched assimilation. What does that mean? And who cares? Unmatched assimilation. By the way, that means we're unique. But who cares? Unique lasts only a day. We have dimensional attributes. What does that mean? That means we build exponentially. Who cares? We have the largest marketplace adaptability. So what? Here's what people want to know. Can they save money? You're looking at the right side of your screen. Can they make money? Can they help people? Can they have fun? That goes back to what we were just talking about, sharks, dolphins, whales, and urchins. Can they save money? Can they make money? Can they help other people? Can they have fun in the process? If so, now you got their attention. Okay? Target market is simple. Again, we're talking about identify the problem solved or need addressed in a sentence or two, in a word or two. You just identify those problems and challenges right away. We talked about that earlier. We're enrolling people on Obamacare. That's we're solving an issue, problem. Okay? Now, if possible, mention a customer who uses your product or that has expressed interest. In other words, it goes back to those stories. Tell a success story. Your story, your upline story, downline story, doesn't matter. Just tell a successful story. If you don't have existing customers, quantify the size of the market that you're going to target using numbers from a reputable source. And that I probably needed to even scale that bullet point down. All that means is basically, there's 30, 50 million people who still don't have health insurance. quite frankly, and everybody is required to have them, in this particular moment at the end of this month, next open enrollment period. I'm not giving dates because I'm actually recording this training, so I don't want to give dates, but you understand what I'm saying. Open enrollment periods, whenever they come, you're going to have millions of people who need to enroll on your product. That's quantifying the size of the market. That's letting people know we have a lot of people who you can actually go after to build your business. Okay? In closing, the tagline, closing pitch, if you will. In the pitch in a memorable way. That's what we talked about earlier. That's your close. Taglines are very effective in doing that. Okay? Here are a couple examples. GE brings good things to life. Brings good things to life. Think about what they're saying. We talk about good, talk about light. Acura, the road will never be the same. Think about what they're saying. Think about their message. Harley Davidson, American by birth, rebel by choice. If you look at their tagline, they're telling you what they are all about. They're pro-American rebels. Let's take a look at One Voice. Let's take a look at our tagline. If you've noticed, it's in the book. It's in it's everywhere. The future is now, and it's in your hand. It's no coincidence when I start talking about, or any of the presenters start talking about the opportunity in the presentation, you'll see a big world, and you see two hands holding that world. Why? Because our tagline is the future is now, and it's in your hand. You have an opportunity right now to change your life forever. You have that opportunity. And I'm telling you guys, I've been in this industry a long time. I've met a lot of people all over the world. And I say this, and I mean it, and God is my witness. It has never been as easy to succeed in this industry as it is right now with One Voice Worldwide. And I'm not just saying that because it's One Voice. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I'm looking at people who, their debit cards. I'm looking at how, monies are starting to accumulate. We're going to pay more people at the end of this month than we paid probably in a half a year, just based on what people have done since we rolled out the LHR in January. That's incredible. But it's your time to take advantage of that. You can dictate your own income. You can dictate your own future. You can sit down with a pen and pencil and say, I need to make this amount of money by this particular time period. And you can go out and make it happen, even if it's just you by yourself with the 20%. Imagine building your company within this company, your organization, to $10,000 a month in total billing volume. That's $2,000 a month right there, just you. Are you kidding me? Don't think for 1 second that you're not going to get $10,000 in volume in a short period of time, because you are. I'm looking at the people who are already now starting to pay for their premiums, and I'm saying, my God, you look at this, we've helped people save money, but these numbers are still off the chain when it comes to what you can make. For example, if we reduce somebody insurance payment from $400 a month to, let's just say, $200 a month, right? We save them a lot of money. But still, think about that. That's a $200 a month bill you're getting paid on. You start accumulating those bills. See how long it takes you to get to $10,000 a month. See how long it takes you to get to $100,000 in billing volume, where you're going to get 20% of that. Are you kidding me? $20,000 a month just off $100,000 in billing volume? It's already starting to happen. Watch your debit cards. You're going to close, you close commission the last day of the month going into April. Look at your debit cards. Just do the math. Whether it's $5 or whether it's $5,000, it's the same. You're going to get 20% of everything that you do personally, and you're going to add on top of that with the people that you're building in your team. And it has never, ever, ever been this simple, period, because you got a product that is now the law. I don't know of any product that was mandatory before. The products that I grew up on was long-distance services. You didn't have to have long distance. You didn't even have to have a phone, but you have to have insurance. Wow. And so a simple close would be something like, does this sound like something that may interest you? Again, we're not begging people. We're not trying to convince people. By the time you try to convince one person, you could have got 10 more engaged, right? So a simple close. Does this sound like something that may interest you? So as I wrap up this training, if you were on the training a couple of weeks ago, you understand that I broke down the 7 components to a presentation, the 7 steps to a presentation. These 7 steps are displayed on your overview presentation. No matter how you see the opportunity, whether it's through a webinar, whether it's a live meeting, whether it's a national convention, these 7 components to a presentation remain the same. Those are, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, the introduction, talk about the industry, company, products, compensation plan, a marketing plan, the training, and your tagline, your close. Intro, industry, company, products, marketing plan, training, and close. Those are the 7 components to a presentation. So, that being the case, let me finalize by giving you an elevator pitch. Here's an elevator pitch. And mind you, just think about this. This particular elevator pitch is 1 minute or less. Call it 1 minute briefing. It's 1 minute or less. Okay? Obviously, you're going to start out by relating or introducing yourself. You're not going to just jump on an elevator and just start going at people. They're going to think you're crazy. So, just a short introduction. Hey, just something to break the ice. Hey, nice shoes, nice suit, nice purse, whatever the case may be, just to break the ice. A lot of times, if I'm in hotels as I travel, you break the ice by asking people, what are you in town for, a convention or business meeting, or are you on vacation? There's something to break the ice, all right? So now, you got past the introduction. Here we go. We're in the industries of health and wellness, which combine to over $1 trillion. The name of our company is One Voice Worldwide, and what we are is a customer acquisition and marketing company. Because we don't spend a lot of money in traditional marketing, we're able to offer savings to the general public. For everyone you help save money or make money, you'll earn a percentage every month, and for everyone that wants to join, you can earn weekly bonuses on them as well. We have a training system where experts will teach you 100% of what it takes to become successful with our company. Does this sound like something that may interest you? Now, think about what I've just done. That was an elevator pitch. That was a 1 minute briefing. Well, it's less than 1 minute. Probably about 40 seconds. Okay? But look at the components that I have here in bold. The introduction, when you relate it to the person, the industry, talked about the health and wellness industry, and you talked about you quantified it by talking about these are $1 trillion industries combined. Talked a little bit about our company and products. Products change frequently, so I always talk about customer acquisition, because that can be any product. It could be the wellness, it could be the life, health, insurance. It can be any product, right? And then we're a marketing company. What does that mean? Network marketing. I don't ever say network marketing, multi-level marketing, because until people understand, that kind of turns some people off. So I say we're a marketing company. So you talk a little bit about the company and the products. Marketing plan. Because we don't spend a lot of money, we're able to offer savings to the public. That's the part where we save money. Remember I talked about we do 2 things. We help people save money, help people make money. Well, the part of the marketing plan to help people save money is because we don't spend a lot of money in traditional marketing, we're able to offer savings to the public. The part where you talk about making money as a representative, for everyone you help save money or make money, you'll actually earn a percentage every month. And for everyone that wants to join, you can earn weekly bonuses on them as well. Now you're talking about from the representative perspective. Then you want to get into the training. We have a training system where experts will teach you 100% of what it takes to be successful with our company. And then here's that close. Does this sound like something that may interest you? That's all there is to it, guys. That's it. Intro, industry, company, products, marketing plan, training, and close. It is an elevator pitch. It is a 1 minute briefing, whatever you want to call it. It has all the psychology in it. When we get into leadership training, I will break down how in this I have all the psychology of sharks, dolphins, whales, and urchins. This particular elevator pitch is designed to spark people's interest based on whether or not they want to help people, whether or not they want to, have fun, whether or not they want to make money, whatever it is, and if they want to know the facts. That's all you need. You don't have to get into it. Now, you're going to get people, I've started to hear this, people asking, more like, I need more about life insurance and health insurance. I need more information. Guys, I've been trying to think of more information. There's no more information. You understand what health insurance is. We already know what it is. We can't give any details because, one, we're not licensed agents, so we can't do that. We have to have an agent give details, but even an agent can't tell you how much it's going to cost until you go through the process of getting a quote. Okay, so the information that's on the brochures and the information that's on the website, that's the only information that you can give to people, and quite frankly, there's no more. So just to recap, the most important thing you can do is to practice your elevator pitch. Okay, practice. Make sure you keep it to a minute or less, even including your introduction. The most effective pitches will not come across as robotic, but they'll be very natural. In other words, you don't have to read it verbatim like I just read it. Well, I didn't even read it. It's committed to my memory. But make it yours. Adapt it to your personality. Speak the way you speak. Don't become robotic. Just be natural, but just have the same information. Okay? The most effective elevator pitchers, people, know their material so well that they can easily deliver it in a casual conversation with anybody. Trust me when I tell you, I can get out of the bed and do a presentation, whether it's a 1-minute presentation or national. I can just roll out of bed and do it. A lot of times I have these slides and I'm not looking at these slides. I have my earpiece in and I'm just having a conversation with you guys because I've committed to who I am. And mind you, what you're seeing on these slides, these are my thoughts and the way I interpret things. You don't have to do it verbatim the way I do it. You do it the way you do it. Just keep the information the same. In summary, you want to practice. Get in the mirror and practice. Record yourself. Practice. Just keep practicing. The more you practice, the more efficient you'll become at doing a 1-minute presentation. And again, a 1-minute presentation is just a scaled-down version of the regular presentation. If you can do the 1-minute presentation, guess what? You can do the regular presentation. You're just doing more of it. Okay? I'm going to take a couple of seconds, but let me close out this session. Thank everybody for joining us on that training. Continue to look at the training, continue to look at the information, and we're going to make sure that everybody gets all the information, training, presentations, and everything that you need